Dear students, I welcome you in the online classes organized by ISP. This is our lecture number 11 on the subject of Pakistani literature in English. Dear students, as you know, the first phase of the component of this course, that is Pakistani literature in English. The first phase consists of the fiction, Pakistani fiction in English. Dear students, we have gone through that phase already, and you know that in that phase we have gone through 3 pieces of fiction. And right from the previous 2 lectures, we are now in the second phase of this component of course, and the second phase is the world of poetry, that is Pakistani poetry in English. Dear students, we have taken an overview of the history of Pakistani poetry in English in 2 phases, that is pre-partition up to 80s and then 80s onward. And from that overview, we came to know that 3 poets, that is Tawfiq Rafat, Daud Kamal and Alamgir Hashim. These are the 3 prominent names in the Pakistani poetry in English. Dear students, out of these 3 poets, 2 have been included in our syllabus, and 2 of these are Tawfiq Rafat and Daud Kamal. Dear students, in the previous lecture, we have a taste of poetry by Tawfiq Rafat, and we have gone through one of his famous poems, that is Wedding in the Flood. Dear students, we also discussed some themes that emerged out of that poem. For today, we are going through another beautiful poem of Tawfiq Rafat, and the title of that poem is Kitchen by Tawfiq Rafat. Dear students, let us look at the outline of today's lecture. We are going through this poem and its explanation briefly. Then we will discuss theme of the loss of old values and culture. Dear students, right from the first poem that we have gone through, that is Wedding in the Flood by Tawfiq Rafat, we are observing that Tawfiq Rafat is actually the poet of Pakistan, the poet of Pakistani society and Pakistani culture. He has presented Pakistani traditions, culture and values in his poetry. That actually makes Rafat one of the representative poets of Pakistani poetry in the language of English. Dear students, today we are going through his second poem, and again we will see the same line that Tawfiq Rafat most of the time adopt in his poems and in his poetry. And we will see that there is the theme of loss of old values and culture, but this theme is relevant to Pakistani society, our own society. And the loss is of old values through the poem Kitchen. Kitchen is a kind of symbol, or is a kind of symbol or an image of the old values, culture and tradition. And through this symbol, Literaure tries to make us realize how quickly we are losing the older values, and these were the greater ones, and these were the kind of values about which we were proud of. But with the passage of time, with the onslaught of modernity, we are losing these values quite quickly, and this loss is a kind of loss that cannot be compensated. Dear students, we will look at the overall features of Rafat poetry at the end. And with this, we have gone through one of the poets of our syllabus, and that is Rafat. Dear students, at the end, I would like to set an exercise for you as usual. Now let us go through the poem Kitchen. Kitchens were places we grew up in. High-roofed, spacious, they attracted us with the pungency of smoke and spices. Now, this is a traditional old kitchen physical construction. Kitchen were places we grew up. It means that it was a tradition in the houses to have one place fixed as kitchen, and people and the members of the family used to grow up with this tradition of having kitchen in the house. And there was a very fixed kind of physical construction these kitchens had. These were high and wide, as it was the center of activities more and other than cooking. So these kitchens were not fixed and specific for the purpose of cooking, but there were many other activities in the family which were performed in these kitchens. So these kitchens were the center of activities. It served as cooking place as well as dining hall. And look at those last two lines: with the pungency of smoke and spices. A place of attraction, as pungent smell of smoke and spices arises from this place. So it was a very central place in the house, because all the members of the family used to gather at this place, and there were many other activities besides cooking and dining. These activities used to take place here. Dear students, now this is the second stanza. From December beds we hurried to the tier of wood fire, above which sang black cattle. So this is a very traditional picture of the kitchen. And if the season is cold, it is the season of summer, which is mostly cold in most parts of Pakistan. So people used to come out of their beds and directly they landed into kitchen, which provided them the warmth of wood fire, as well as the kettles preparing tea were ready all the time. So the season of harsh winter, when people get up and take shelter in the warmth of the kitchen, where wood is burning and some tea kettle is on the fire for preparing tea. So again, a very traditional setup. And we know tea is like a national drink for us. So it was being prepared, and people used to get up, the members of the family used to get up from their beds and they used to take shelter in this kitchen where they were offered tea. Then, once there, we dawdled over last night's curry and fresh bread dripping from the saucepan, eggs, and everlasting bowls of tea. So these were the things offered in the kitchen. And kitchen provides all kind of food festivities like curry, oily bread, eggs, and delicious tea. So these were the things which were provided, which were always available in these traditional and old kind of kitchen. Then discussion centered on primaries, births, deaths, marriages, crops. So these were the topics of discussion most of the time when members of a family used to sit in the kitchen, they had their food, and during these food sessions, they used to discuss very simple kind of topics, like the births in the city, in the town, in the village, or the deaths, or the marriages, and the crops. So these are the simple topics being discussed in these kitchens, and this also showed the simplicity of the people who used to attend these kitchens. There were no politics discussion. There were no discussions about corruption. There were no such kind of topics discussed in these kitchens which were very complex and complicated, but very simple topics were discussed in these kitchens. Then, mother presided, contributing only her presence, busy ladling, noise was more. So, a traditional president of these meetings, of these gatherings in the kitchen, the president used to be the mother of the family. And she was always busy. She was contributing through her presence. Her presence was a kind of contribution to all the members of the family. And she was always busy to serve everybody. So that is the traditional mother we used to have in the family. There was the warmth of the kitchen, of love and sincerity. So this was the warmth kitchens used to give to all the members of the family, used to provide to all the members of the family. Mother was on the seat as president of the meetings, and she was not an authoritative president. Her presence was enough, and she was all the time serving every member of the family. So that was also a traditional symbol of this symbolic kitchen of the old good days. Then the scene changes. Now this traditional old kitchen, full of love, full of sincerity, has been replaced by the modern kitchen. And the equipment which used to be very simple in these kitchens now changes. It is replaced by chairs and tables, dining tables. Chairs are insular. They do not encourage intimacy like slats. The tables tucks bellies in. We would not dream of coming to this place to share our triumphs, to unburden our griefs. Chromium and formica have replaced the textured homeliness of plastered teak. Everything is clean as hospital. Now this is the modern kitchen. It is no more traditional old kitchen full of love and intimacy and sincerity. Now scene changes. Traditional kitchen is replaced by the modern kitchen. The modern equipment like chairs and tables have created distance among the family. So chairs are insular. They do not encourage intimacy like slats. Slats were such things, such kind of furniture that used to encourage intimacy, love and sincerity. But chairs have insulated each and every person of the family. Similarly, you can fill your bellies by sitting on the tables, but you are empty whereas sincerity and love is concerned. Then another loss. We would not dream of coming to this place to share our triumphs, to unburden our griefs. Now this kitchen, this modern kitchen is no place to celebrate your victories together with all the members of the family. Similarly, it is no more place to share your griefs, your sorrows with other members of the family. Kitchen is no more a place to celebrate the achievements and share the griefs. It used to be. In the old good days, it used to be the place where you can share your griefs with other members of the family and you can celebrate with them for your achievements. But this is no more that place. The modern chromium and formica have replaced the textured homeliness of plaster teak. So, the modern decorative like chromium and formica have replaced plaster and teak and changed the internal environment of the kitchen. It has brought an end to the friendly and loving atmosphere of the kitchen. Kitchen is now clean as hospital, but at the same time, it has lost its central place for the family. So that is the loss. If this is the contrast, this modern kitchen is in contrast to that old traditional kitchen, then what it has contributed is also in contrast to that old traditional kitchen. It is clean as hospital. No doubt. It has decorative like chromium and formica. It has chairs and tables, but it is no more the place where the family used to gather and enjoy their free time, enjoy their leisure time. Then another change. The surrealistic clock where once the eloquent grandfather swung. This is another change in that same kitchen. In the old traditional kitchen, the picture of overweening grandfather used to swing. It was fixed, but it has been replaced by clock. And clock makes us remind to be regular, to be punctual, to be busy, to be fast, to rush towards the modern life, the modern lifestyle. We are differential to the snack pleasures of electric toast and take our last gulps standing up. Now this is the picture of a modern man who is pleased to take electric toast, a toast prepared by electronic devices, and he has just time to gulp some tea to his stomach, and even he goes through this process by standing up. He does not have time to sit in that modern kind of kitchen. So the modern kitchen has its own settings. The picture of grandfather, a symbol of tradition, has been replaced by clock. And clock is symbol of punctuality and rush and busy life. People are in hurry. They do not have time to sit and enjoy the food of conversation. So that food of conversation, which used to be the part of old traditional kitchen, is no more in this modern kitchen. So this modern kitchen is in contrast to that old traditional kitchen. Dear students, through this poem, Rafat is mourning the loss of values, the loss of tradition, and the loss of old culture, old great culture. And this becomes the main theme that emerges out of this poem. Theme of loss of old values and culture. As it has been mentioned time and again that Tawfiq Rafat is a poet of Pakistani culture, traditions and idioms. Kitchen is a very good example for the proof of this claim. The poet has presented a contrast between the old traditional kitchen, which used to be the center of all the activities of the family, and the new modern kitchen, which is just a symbol that people of the family come and go here in hurry and haste. So this is the contrast that Tawfiq Rafat has presented in this poem. And this makes Tawfiq Rafat the most Pakistani poet, because he has represented Pakistani culture, traditions, language and idioms. The poem registers a sense of loss and nostalgia for the good old days and values. So kitchen is just symbolic. Actually, it is representing the old good days as well as old values, traditions and culture. The onrush of the new and modern life has worked on two levels simultaneously. What are these two levels? It has created distance among the members of the family, and second, with the loss of love and sincerity. So we love this new modern lifestyle. What it has done to us? It has created distance among the members of the family. They have different interests. They have nothing to share. Even they have nothing common among themselves. So what can they share? And there is departure of love and sincerity. Kitchen was not only a place for tasting different dishes, but also the whole family gathered to share their joys and griefs. That is very important, because kitchen was not only the place where you can enjoy different tastes of different dishes, but what it used to provide. That was the contribution of the old traditional kitchen. It used to provide a place, a chance, an opportunity for every member of the family to share his or her joys and griefs. This old family gathering place is replaced by the modern, fully equipped, well-furnished kitchen. But this modern, well-furnished kitchen has everything but love and sincerity. Neither mother is serving, nor it has the overseeing picture of grandfather. It has chromium, formica, chairs, tables, the things that have created distance among the members of the family. Now, Rafat is the most lyrical of the Pakistani poets. If we take the overall view of the poetry of Rafat, then we come to this conclusion that he is the most lyrical of the Pakistani poets. Jamal Rashid, a critic, has called him Pakistan's Boeing of English poetry. Rafat shows maturity right from his early poetic works. When we read and we go through his early poetic works, he has that glimmer which proved him a very representative poet of Pakistani English poetry. As a love poet, he eschews the glowing emotionality of ghazal. We have discussed that most of the Pakistani poets in English, they fall a victim to the emotionality of the ghazal tradition. But Tawfiq Rafa, he avoids himself from falling the victim of this emotionality of ghazal. The Time to Love is a case in point. That is one of his very good poems on a very romantic kind of poem, emotional kind of poem about love. Rafat relies both on logical narrative and imagery to convey his meanings. We can observe in the two poems that we have gone through, that is Wedding in Flood and Now Kitchen, that he is in the habit of making logical narrative. It seems that his poetry is full of logic as well. And secondly, he uses such kind of imagery that helps him to convey his meanings. Rafat does not use vague rhetorical words and cliches to express himself. The strength of Rafat as Pakistani English poet emanates from the fact that he introduces Pakistani culture, tradition, idioms and language in the English language. We know that this is the strength of Rafat, and we have been mentioning it time and again. He uses images and symbols of our culture that makes his poetry more enjoyable for us, because we relishes, we enjoys these images and symbols as we can identify ourselves with these images and symbols as they belong to our culture. He is well aware about the cultural heritage of his country and has enlivened it through his poetry. Rafat knows our cultural practices and attitudes and presents them realistically. In some poems, Rafat narrates a story and becomes prosaic, but still in economy of words or richness of concrete images and a purposeful control over emotions create powerful effect. So this may be the weakness of Rafat, that sometimes he narrates a story in his poems and becomes a bit prosaic, but still the economy of words, the richness of concrete images belonging to our culture, and most importantly, control over emotions make him a great poet. In toto, Rafat is the representative poet of Pakistani society in English. He has introduced Pakistani culture through his poetry and set the solid foundations for the future poets to erect a huge building. So this is the main contribution of Rafat in the field of Pakistani poetry in English. Dear students, that's all we have about Tawfiq Rafat, and we have gone through two of his poems as well. Hopefully you have enjoyed them. Now, on the basis of this poem, that is Kitchen, we have an exercise. What is the theme that emerges from the poem Kitchen by Tawfiq Rafat? That's all from my side for today. Stay safe, stay blessed.